I think that's the one, right?
If you want to be part of the show, you need to wait for your turn.
Are we in English, right?
Yes, in English.
Okay, sweet. Let's go with the flow.
And I want to be really comfy. So, okay. So, welcome to Work in Progress podcast. This is, first of all, my first episode of a new podcast that I want to start. Quick intro. I'm Tiffany. I'm 34 years old. I have a corporate background in the sports industry. And I've had just many different jobs, many different hats. I've traveled a lot and met a lot of super interesting people like on my journey. And so I decided to create this podcast called, well, Intro, Work in Progress. Because in the end, we're all work in progress, right? All the time.
Absolutely.
And hopefully this is the first of many other episodes.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
And I'm so happy to have you, Oli,
Thanks for
with
having
me today for my very first episode.
It's an honor.
And today we're going to talk about holistic coaching because I'm graduating next week.
Congrats.
Yes, thank you.
Finally?
Yeah, finally. So graduating from the Chopra training program, and Oli right here was one of my practice clients. And I'm super excited to have you with me here and for you to share your story because I think a lot of people will be really inspired by your journey. I have been. Being your coach, I have been inspired by you, so
awesome.
Really. And yeah, we'll before deep diving into reflecting on your coaching journey, I thought of just giving a little background of what holistic coaching is.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Sure.
So what is holistic coaching? Because holistic coaching is also different from life coaching and therapy. So in essence, therapy is really going from the past to the present, and life coaching and holistic coaching is going from the present to the future. So who do you want to become? And the difference between first holistic coaching and life coaching is you have specific goals that you want to achieve, whether that's career or health, and yeah, so it's really about focusing on goals and actions, while holistic coaching, it's more about finding balance within to also achieve your goals, but really going from within to out. And so what does it look like? It's really, in the end, like returning to whole. Like we're born into this world, we are whole. We tend to lose a little bit ourselves on our journey and get influenced to do things that maybe are not aligned with ourselves and all of that. But so returning to whole, it's understanding that the mental well-being, emotional well-being, physical well-being, and spiritual well-being, they're all interconnected. And so, for example, if you're stressed at work, it might not be only about your boss who is a little bit of a pain, but it might be also because you're not sleeping well and everything is unbalanced. So what we're trying to do with all of this, it's like really rebalancing everything. And so this is inner alignment, right? So it's really the inside to out approach. Because the answer is really within, and I think you've seen that throughout the coaching journey.
Definitely.
All the answers are within us, and we might seek for help here and there, but I think that's where coaching is really interesting, is that a holistic coach will not tell you what to do. So yeah, it's really looking for the answers that we have within us, and so the coach here, myself, is like guiding you to get your own answers, and understanding that also like looking at our core values, understanding our purpose, and who we are as like our authentic self, and so that in the end, like all the actions that we take and decisions we make in our life are all aligned with these three pillars. It's also about mind and body connection. So it's incorporating mindfulness. So we've done that, through meditation, for example. Somatic awareness. I don't know if we've done this with our sessions.
No, I was aware of what it was, but we haven't done that.
So somatic, it's really understanding the reaction of our body through different things, right? Like the warmth, the feelings, the pain, maybe. And understanding that and how that translates into our emotions. And also through breath work. So there are different tools, but all of these in the end are to access insight, again, within, to reduce and relieve any stress that we have in our life.
Yep.
To have like a good balance. It's also about sustainable change. So holistic coaching is really less about short-term, but really long-term. So again, long-term transformation over short-term fixes. Because when we really understand who we are and we kind of recalibrate and balance everything and understand what we need rather than what society tells us we need, that's when there's like long-term transformation. And then of course it's about integration. So whatever you learn during the coaching sessions, it's applying it also in real life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why we say like, it really happens between the sessions, because during the session you will learn a lot about yourself, things that you might have forgotten, maybe new like learnings, insights, and then understanding what you need to again recalibrate and rebalance. And in the end, taking action between the sessions so that also once our sessions are over, you can just like fly on your own.
Absolutely.
How it works, so we had one intake session, 8 coaching sessions, and our wrap-up session that I combine it now with this podcast.
Excellent idea. Love it.
And we'll see how it goes. And again, I want this, so I have a couple of questions for today to reflect on your journey, but I also want to make sure that the conversation flows.
Sure.
And that anything that comes up, we'll just see. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, go with the flow.
And so with this method also that I have learned and that I have taken you through during our sessions, it's focusing on 4 cornerstones. We did purpose. Well, that was one of our first sessions. So it's understanding your purpose. Yep. We all have one purpose. And so that's really getting into understanding what it is for you so that it can be like a light and a guide in your life. Then we focused on intention. Yep. Intention is like the wheel of life, looking at the areas you want to improve. This is more about action. So creating a plan and a contingency plan.
I have all the flashbacks coming back from all the youth sessions while you're
I love
them.
that. Really about planning and taking action. We've got meaning, so it's like any challenge that you have in your life and that you really the meaning that you make of it, and how can you transform that meaning into a new way of seeing it. Yep. And then finally there's shadow as well. Shadow, it's all of the judgments that we have on ourselves and on others, and how do we and judgments will always be there, right?
Yeah, usually the elephant in the room.
Yeah. And it's not about fixing those judgments or removing them. It's really about accepting them and
understanding them.
And the most important with this, it's practicing self-compassion and compassion to others, because we also judge others, right?
Yeah.
And it's understanding that, it's a judgment we have on others or on ourselves, but it's accepting. It is like we are who we are. Yeah. It makes us whole. Yeah. And instead of taking that judgment into a negative way, learning how to accepting, and again, compassion is kind of the goal of going through shadow.
Absolutely.
So now it's Oli time.
Oh, right. Well, no pressure.
So reflecting on your coaching journey. I'll start with some questions, and then wherever the conversation goes,
Okay.
we'll just see, right?
Okay, all right. There's a lot to say, so.
Anything that, also, be really open to share. Anything that you want to cut out and not have it public, we'll remove it. But I don't want you to limit yourself with because of this.
No,
Right.
absolutely. No, I'm very transparent and very honest, and I think my coaching journey with you is also made to be shared, you know. I think it's also relevant for me to share because I've learned about fragility, but transparency, but honesty, empathy, all these things that I thought were things I already had inside myself.
Right.
And with exchanging with you and sharing with the people that will hopefully watch the podcast, it's definitely something that I look forward to.
Yeah, and thank you so much again for being open about it. Okay, so the why.
Reminds me of Simon Sinek.
So what made you decide to sign up for coaching in the first place?
It's something that I've always wanted to do because I've been through therapy, the usual regular one with a psychotherapist, a psychiatrist as well. But I've always heard that the approach of a life coach was something that would be different. What made me accept your offer was the idea of jumping into the unknown, jumping into an exercise. I'm very Cartesian. I'm really someone who really likes to have a framework. I love Excel sheets. I know I'm weird. But it's something that I really needed to have as a guarantee when we started. And straight away, it's something that I felt with you. It was really framed. There was like guidelines. I knew that I was going into some sort of on a journey, but not just a spiritual journey. It was part of it, but it was also a lot of introspection of things that at 47 years old was not something that I would hope for, or at least meaningful enough for me to change. But God, oh damn, it changed me a lot.
We'll get there. There are more questions. Yeah, okay, because also maybe a bit of background for you guys watching is I needed a practice client to practice my coaching during the training program, and I posted on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly, and I was following you.
You were already following me from, I don't even remember
Your paddle sessions.
The paddle.
I thought you had just arrived in Geneva and you were like, asking who would like join you, and I was like, that's weird for someone in Geneva. We're not like this. So it was a friendly friend. So I was just like, I'll follow your journey a little bit, and it was very inspiring. I always told you. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, no, I'm glad you jumped on my journey, and then I jumped on yours, and here we are.
Yeah,
it's
finally.
amazing. All right, next question is. Well, you just answered this one, but maybe you want to go into a bit more details. But had you tried other forms of personal development before, therapy, mentoring, self-study, and all these things?
I wouldn't say that therapy or psychology or psychiatrists were people that really got me in a different journey or the same journey. I think I've already tried by myself, self-improving through books, through podcasts, YouTube videos and things but a lot of that were not really speaking to me because I deeply think that the coaching aspect has to be personal, focused on every single individually. But it was something that I was deeply looking for but never found it. So for me, it's like really the first time that I'm really doing this process of willing to change. I didn't start thinking that I would change, to be honest. I was more seeking for answers because, as I said before, I'm 47 and I'm not, ready to change. I am who I am. But we'll definitely get into that afterwards. But the I am who I am was a revelation.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Next question will be. Oh yeah. What were you hoping coaching would help you with?
Yeah, that's a good question. Nothing, and I think that this was what made me open myself so much. I did not have any much of an objective, and I remember struggling when we had the first session, finding the purpose that you were mentioning before. Because for me, a purpose is was just like an end goal, an objective. But I did not have the right definition of a purpose. A purpose is more something that you wear like a clothes on for a whole week. No, hopefully not for a whole week, but you get the idea of wearing someone and being comfortable with wearing this this idea of having this purpose that is part of you. And I was honestly hoping that by the end of it, I'd get firstly the answers to my questions: who I am, what am I looking for, basically all these things that fit into the purpose theme. And I was more looking for like, all right, I'll get at the end of the 3 month of coaching with you, or 2 month, and I'll feel some. I'll be able to see some path that I can follow to improve. That was what I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also
She likes that answer.
I also have here
Oh.
your intake form.
Oh wow! All right.
Yeah, and I was thinking for this question, because I think there is this question. What do you hope to gain from your coaching journey? Do you remember what you wrote?
No.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes.
I'm seeking both personal clarity and professional growth.
Whoa.
Managing my energy and staying focused on meaningful goals in both love in general and business.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, but at the same time, it's weird already to read myself what we had worked together, because it not came only with me. It came by working together on the first or second session, to see how far I've come. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Because I was saying I did not look for an achievement in the end, but it is in the end.
Yeah. Okay, so what else do we have? How did you feel before your first session?
Oh, this one I remember very well. I was stressed. I was stressed first to speak to you because, as I said, you were some sort of inspiration without knowing you, but I saw the energy that you were giving to other people, the empathy, you always had your schedule very busy, at least from what I perceived. So I was very stressed of being like, okay, what am I seeking for? Am I seeking for some inspiration from Tiffany Lawson? Am I seeking some answers from her? Am I seeking simply some inspiration? So I was kind of puzzled. I was really in front of, I didn't really want it, it's typically you invited for a party at people that you don't really appreciate, but you still have to go because you're invited. So you go by politeness, by kindness. That's how I felt in front of the door with you the first day. And I was like, oh, I have to go. And usually it's when you just like, let yourself go, open the door, have somebody nice welcoming you with warmth and kindness and empathy. That's who I am. That once you're inside, you're just like, oh, I actually did the good thing of going at this party, and I'm just like looking forward for the next one, aka the next session. So I was stressed, I was puzzled, I was not sure if it was the right thing to do, because it was also a commitment, a long-term commitment. I mean, 2 months for me, being totally impatient and looking forward to do 10,000 things at the same time, it was a commitment. And I was like, will I have time to do that, And I had to honor the promise that I made you to start with you, and it just like went simply. And I was just then looking forward for the next session, and working. And I guess we'll talk about this between the sessions was something that always kept me in this party where I was. I never left it. So yeah.
That's a beautiful way of describing it. And
the king of metaphors. You remember?
Yeah, no, and really, thank you for all your words. I can only imagine how you felt, because obviously I've seen you. I was part of your coaching journey, and seeing you now versus like how the energy was the first time we met, I've seen tremendous growth. So I'm looking forward to the next questions when we're going to deep dive into your journey. But yeah, and here we are, reflection and takeaway. Yeah. So. How has your relationship with yourself changed?
I'd say that at the beginning I didn't really see the shift. The two 3 first sessions, you do it like a student would do. You attend a class and you just listen to the teacher, you do your homework some way, but you don't, as I say, expect return on investment or results or some changes from the beginning. Even today, 3 or 2 months or at least 8 sessions later, I'm not really capable to say concretely what changed. Like I'm more this or I'm less that, but I've seen changed in accepting myself for who I am. And I wouldn't say not giving a F of anyone, but taking care of myself first, because it's something that being an empathetic person, I'm a passionate and I share my love before even being capable of loving myself first. And this is something that was drowning my energy down, and but I feel comfortable with that, because when I was down I usually was alone, and when I was with people I'd give, without counting, all the love that I had. So I think that what really changed for me was that understanding that being me, self-love, I think this is crucial. Accepting who I am, accepting my flaws, accepting my past, and we've talked about it so many times, and there's a few exercises that were really, really strong that helped me understand and accept some things that were there that had to be put in a drawer and left there, accepted, but behind. So the difference between the Oli on the first session and the Oli on the last session is huge, but it's not measurable. And it points me into something that was key for me when you asked me how we wanted to proceed. And I told you, and I told the viewers as well, that I'm a figure freak. I need to have measurables.
Yes.
And it's impossible to answer with measurables today how I've changed, but I know that I've accepted myself, and this made good around me, I guess, made good in my professional life, in my business, and surrounding myself with my family, with my friends. But it's not something that I can measure. But the one thing that I can measure is that when I come home, I'm not empty of energy like I used to. I still have some energy. That energy, then I use it for myself. Taking care of myself, meditating, being more aware of who I am, and simple things of life, cooking and being just like, no, I have to feed myself. Just, taking time, putting some cool music, some soul, funk or anything, dancing by myself in the kitchen. I found myself doing things that I've been doing when I was a teenager. And when you're a teenager, you don't give a F of what people think of you, You are who you are. And usually you're the worst version of yourself. So being the worst version of yourself, being a teenager, and now being my version of myself, I think it was like a revelation in the end. So yeah, the only measurable is being understanding and revealing who I am.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think, so one thing that you said also, there are certain tools that we used that where you really felt the shift and the change.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about those?
Right now I have 2 in mind. I think the first one was when we had to put numbers from 1 to 10 on the different topics that we wanted to tackle by the end of the session. And strangely enough, you've never asked me, or it never seemed like completely normal for you to tackle the one that had the lowest numbers. And when I said, I feel very good, I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was like a 7 or an 8. And I said, let's talk about this one and let's try to improve and let's see if your perception of it is good. And actually at the end of the session, I understood that my 8 was an 8 in my head, but it was actually a 2 or a 3 in reality.
Wow.
So this exercise that kept on for all along, because it was just like a roadmap. We knew which, themes or we would talk about on every session, because every session we talked about something different. This is also something that is important to say, because it's just not like a one theme and we're gonna heal you with love or heal you with health or heal you with business. It's a mix.
Yeah.
But it's a mix that is balanced and that makes the me grow up together at the same time. So that's the first one, and the second one it was visualization. When you had to deep dive with me in something that was a hot topic, was my relationship with my father. And that was something that revealed two things. First one, it was something that I had thought that with my hypnotherapist was completely arranged somewhere in the background, but was still there. And I understood that with you, and you understood that for me. That's why the next session we started with that, because you understood that it was something that had to be understood, or at least comprehended, for us to continue the journey. So it was just like a pause in the sessions, in the coaching, but it was necessary, and you understood that very well. I cried a lot, and I push guys, if guys are watching, to cry and understand that crying is not that bad. It's important, and you understood that. And you didn't feel any pity, but you just understood that it was part of me and that it had to be healed. I understood. We did that, and I love that. You know, I'm an AI freak, so I took all the words, all the exchanges, all the phrases that we had, and I just like put it in the tool and generated images of me and my father, but in a Japanese art way, you know, because I did not want to really feel my father's face, or my face neither. And it was just like, it helped me also elevate the pain that I had, in not something that was concrete, but something that was also deeply spiritual in my head, somewhere there. And no drugs would help, you know, understand it. No real long-term therapy could help you. I think the coaching and the approach, aside of the holistic approach of it, is also being able to be confident in the person you speak to. And even though we had never met before, I felt also that I was speaking to a friend every week, you know, because at the end of the story, you know much more than a lot of, like 95% of the people that are around me. And these 95% of the people around me, I mean the rest of the people, they'll be judgmental, they wouldn't know where I come from, and their advice or their point of view would be biased.
Yeah.
So with you, it had that approach that was not, it was a friend, but who did not know the past. It was like, I know where you are, and let's speak about today, and let's speak about tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if past comes along the way, we'll take it into consideration. But yeah, past is past.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a really good point about going into something that has to be healed, because we often say that coaching is not about healing; it's about like taking you where you want to go. So it's not going into the past really. But that's where what I love about this method and how I approach also coaching, where I was not afraid of going there with you. I felt that you could handle it. You wanted to. It was hard, like you said. You had really strong emotions, and we held that space for you to just release, you know, cry and whatnot. And I think that's what is also amazing about coaching, is that we can talk about your goals of tomorrow, but also sometimes there's something holding you still from reaching that, or at least taking actions for that. And often it's all of these emotions that we're holding on to, and sometimes we don't know where they come from. You thought that it was maybe healed, you know, with your father. And again, that's what, for me, the biggest thing about coaching and learning everything that we need to learn about ourselves. It's again back to that self-compassion. Yeah. Because we are who we are, and we can change things, of course. Like we can change direction and go towards where we want to go, but we cannot change who we've been. And so we need to accept that before being able to move forward, right?
Yeah.
I think also one other thing that you just mentioned was you are number freak, like metric. You want to measure everything. Yeah. I want to talk about this exercise that you came up with. We were talking about, okay, what can you do till the next session, and journaling came up.
Yes.
And wow, like you were very, very creative in the way you approached journaling, because again, being very number focused and you want to measure things, you came up with a way to measure your emotions.
Yeah.
You had graphs and
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
It was something that I really wanted to, even though there's a very technical aspect and approach of coaching, I've never felt it with you. That was always kept in the background, because coaching is technical also. I mean, it's just not talking with a friend.
Yeah.
We could do that in a bar with a nice gin and tonic. Don't drink too much.
But please do.
With someone, not alone. And there's this technical part, I've never felt it with you. So it was in the background, it was there. So I could focus only on the abstract part of the coaching, focusing on myself. Focusing on myself also pushed me into being myself. So it's true that, measuring emotions was also something that had me understand also how complex emotions are. Emotions is not black or white. It's always gray. And in this gray zone, there's always different things. In emotions, there's the way you approach the emotion. Who's bringing the emotion? What is it making? What's the effect of emotions on you? Is it just mental? Is it physical? Is it something that you feel comfortable, manageable with it? Or is it something that you despise and you want to leave it away? Is it something that creates tears, happiness, joy? So for me, it was just like in a way to see also, I think I did that for dating,
Yes.
I think. And I was measuring to understand also how relevant, I know it might sound horrible, but how relevant it was for me to understand if the curves that I was following were always going high, and if this increase in emotions was positive or negative. Because I'm a people pleaser. I'm someone who, once he meets someone, wants to give everything, gives 100% of his trust to someone. I'm trying my best to give everything to the person right from the start. So I feel myself very emotional, very, I put a lot of implication in the relationship, even though it's just a first date. So measuring and seeing if the curve being that high is also relevant with the energy that I was putting, and if both curves was on the top, something is wrong. It means I'm giving too much. But if the curve of energy of implication was lower than the energy, then I would understand that something is good. I'm receiving the energy from the other person, so that's a green flag.
Yeah.
So for me, that was the approach that I had, just because it made me also feel confident understanding these numbers. But I have to give you credit for that, because it would have not came into my mind if we'd had not this purpose thing in the beginning, where we set for different themes numbers. And I think the numbers also were 1 to 10, because I could have put 1 to 6 like at school in Switzerland. But
that was in the intention cornerstone with the Wheel of Life, right?
Yeah, correct.
With the different
exactly.
areas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you leave a lot of freedom also in the approach. That's important to say. It's there's the technical aspect of it, but it's not rigid.
Yeah.
You adapt and you listen, and you every end of the session you would always say at all the beginning of the session you say what you would like to talk about, even though it was crystal clear. You'd still ask, because you trigger in my mind my state of mind at this specific moment when we start. Maybe I have something else in mind. And it happened a few times that we started and I said, let's tackle this subject, and we ended up talking about something completely different, because your mind can be polluted by different energies, different thoughts, and after this 1 hour of exchange together, after the end of the session, you're just like, I was able to release all these things, and I was like, but actually we did not talk about the first subject. So
no, it's again, like, you're giving me you said you're giving me credit for that exercise you did, but I think it's again back to the answers are within you, and also the tools that you need, that everything, like guide you, but you took the direction that you wanted to take. Like I could have told you like, yeah, just journal about it, and you would have journal entries, but you took it to that level of for you, what works for you, and I thought that was super creative and amazing.
Yeah, I think credit goes to both of us.
Let's do that. Teamwork.
Teamwork is the dream work.
Exactly. Okay, so let's see. How did the coaching affect other areas of your life? Relationships, work, health, mindset, anything. I mean, we've talked a little bit about it, but maybe in how would we say that? Big picture? How did that whole coaching affect also the external part? Because we've talked a lot about within now.
I can give 3 clear examples. The first one is procrastination was something that was always there. And now I don't tend to leave something for tomorrow. I still do, but not for the day after tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow, but I would not leave it away from my eyesight just because it feels uncomfortable. So this is something that also, I understand that if I don't do it now, I assess the risks. And then I can judge and understand if I can procrastinate or just postpone. So maybe it's a different terminology for procrastinating, postponing, but at least I do it with self-awareness. The second one is the way I've approached relationships with people. That means my family, my friends, my direct surroundings, even my dog. I share and I give love with much more intelligence. I don't give love just because I have to, because I was brought up with love. Or more the opposite. I was not really brought up with love, so I tend to give it. You usually give what you did not get when you were smaller. So I share my love, I share my emotions, my time also, because it's important also, as we were talking about energy before, wisely. I think of it, but I do it naturally because I know who I am, I accept who I am, and I know that I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, but as long as it pleases me first. It's not being selfish. It's just understanding that you can't give infinitely. There's a way where you're going to be starting to hurt yourself, and usually you don't really realize when the threshold is approaching. So, and the last one, and this was something that I was surprised, but I think that it comes with all these things that I've mentioned prior to you, is this crazy success on sharing my thoughts on Instagram. It started pretty much when we started the coaching sessions, understanding, at least from the moment I started understanding who I was, that I started to share thoughts about relationships, about love, about family, about the relationship that we have with our pets, but in a way that was truly myself. And seeing the love coming back, not as a wave, but as a tsunami, I was like, whoa, is this really the result of being me that's happening right now? And the more I was doing it, because the first video that went viral, I was just like, okay, maybe it's just one shot. Maybe it's just the algo was just friendly with me and stuff. And then I tried another one, and it worked the same way. The next one, and people started to follow. People started interacting with me, asking me for advices. So I don't have the weapons to approach these wars that people have in their head. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a coach, and you might have some clients within my followers, but aside of the numbers and the figures of the followers, for once I was able to step back and say, oh wow, that's actually love, that's the actual empathy, that's actually me. And 2 million views later, I was like, whoa, I have to do something out of that, and it inspired me in starting a podcast. It inspired me, I'm thinking of maybe one day writing a book with all these small texts that I post online, maybe give conferences and share, my experience as a human. I usually say what someone asked me, what would be the title of your book? And it would be Humain, trop humain, human, too human. Because sometimes you feel like you're too human for this world. We always or very often feel disconnected with the actual world we live in. We're just like, we think that everything is going too slow because we lack patience, or everything goes too fast because we can't cope with the speed. And the only moment where we can ground, and that was something that we always did at the beginning of the session, is just like leave everything behind. We're going to do our coaching. You did not say it like this, but it was when we were starting the meditation, 1 or 2 minutes meditation.
Yeah.
That was just enough to just like, you know, ground yourself and say, okay, that's my time, my me time.
Yeah.
And my me time now is shared with other people, and I'm telling other people what, in a way, sorry, I have to give you credit also for that, and you know that, and I know you're very humble and you would not accept that, but I would have never been able, and you saw the past content that I had was very, I wouldn't say fake because I was still sharing, but I was always sharing the happy side of my travels, the happy side of my business meetings. I was always sharing the happy side, but I was not sharing the authentic me, the Oli in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Once I started doing that, one way, yes, I was expecting some validation from the other people, but that was not what was important. In the end, what was important is that I was able to speak out.
Yeah.
So, what was the question again?
No, and you just gave 3 really powerful examples. I'm going to reflect back on it because I think the first one you mentioned was the procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't see what you do every day, but just with, I think I'll just tie it maybe with the relationship that you have with yourself, that I've seen this growth, where I think in the first sessions, you were very focused on, I would say, the dark side of Oli. And so I think procrastination goes with that. It's when you always see the glass half empty. It's like, what's the point? What's the point of doing things? You know. And as we went on with the sessions, and I don't know, I think the breakthrough that I saw was like probably after the 4th or 5th session already. I think it was that one when you came to me and you said, "But Tiff, is it this easy? Is it just be myself?"
True, I remember that. Yeah.
And that really, it melted my heart. I was like, wow, like just you realizing that, knowing that coaching is the whole point of it. It's like, again, returning to whole and accepting who we are. And the way that it was almost like you were this little child and like crack the code of life, you know?
The revelation, when I was talking about revelation at the beginning of what I've learned, it's really like this. It's really like I don't say rebirth, because, you know, there's this, it was, you know, in Bali it's used differently.
Yes. Well, yeah, but it is.
But it was some sort of, you know, rebirth. I was discovering who was Oli and rather than Olivier or who I was before. So it helped a lot.
Yeah. And then the second thing that you shared was about your relationship with others and protecting your energy. Again, you can see that in the whole transformation, that the way you approach things, even the way of thinking and the way you express yourself, I can feel that completely changed.
You mean in confidence or? Confidence
and more positive, even though we still spoke about some dark things throughout the journey. It was just a different approach that you would take, and starting to see the glass half full. Yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah. And then lastly, with your social media success, and I think we've spoken about this, you and I, but social media is quite a tough one, because we always there are there's this aspect of, like you said, validation, right?
Yep.
And but I think in your example and the way you described it is beautiful. Is because in the end, it's like a validation you don't need. It's nice to have, but you're actually being yourself.
Yep.
Right. So you're not trying hard in understanding what does the algorithm want, what do people want. Yeah. It's like, no, I'm myself. You want to follow, cool. If not, and that's and I've been following your journey and in the coaching, but then also looking at your social media success. It was just so nice to see, and you being, you know, like celebrating those wins of like, you know, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 10,000.
Yeah, it's just like It's funny you mentioned that because as you know, it's my job to be creating content for SMEs in Switzerland. So I have to, on a daily basis, understand for real estate, for restaurants, what's the algorithm looking for, you know, and how I have to adapt my content to find validation, because that's how you drive sales in the end on through your social media. And it worked the moment I stopped looking at that. It's a different topic, but it's funny to say that what's actually in my daily job, daily business, is something that actually worked in my private life without even thinking of it, being just myself. So it's something that I'm going to take for my business as well. Bring more authenticity, being more themselves, less being, real estate videos or content should not have to be like all the other videos that they see, even though sometimes, you know, client is king, but, you know, but my approach and my experience and today having metrics in some way to show that is also something that I was, that I'm happy to have, you know, because I can approach my business also just being me, you know, not being a CEO of a company and having to, you know, please everyone. I can choose my own path.
I love that.
Do you agree?
Let me see if I have, what else do I have? So I think, we've spoken about this, but in short, what's the biggest lesson or takeaway?
Trust yourself. If there is something that you see around yourself, whether it's coaching, whether it's a book, whether it's a new friend, whether it's a new relationship, try. You know, always try and think later. You know, you'll thank yourself maybe, or you'll hate yourself, but at least you've tried. So if there's a thing, that's what I've done with you. Try life coaching, try coaching sessions, try engaging with someone that you don't know, who's not a doctor, who possibly is a friend, and just try, and you'll see. I mean, just don't nourish the frustration of not trying. You know.
Beautiful. Outro.
Now and forever.
First, thank you so much for sharing all of that and being so open. I hope people get really inspired by your journey and everything that you've learned about yourself through just coaching. And, you know, like, people don't necessarily need coaching, but at least like learning to know ourselves is the breakthrough that we all need, or that will happen if we do so.
We all have one life, and we have to be aware of what we have. And sometimes it comes through understanding that we're not alone, and no one's alone, even if we have the impression. But the solution, or at least awareness or understanding who you are, is just one hand away, one call away, one email away, or one social media page away, you know. So,
so I think I have two last questions.
Okay, I thought it was outro.
For the outro. How would you describe coaching in your own words to someone who's never experienced it?
I'd say it's a journey first, because point A to point, maybe not Z, but at least D or E, that can be enough for someone. A journey that brings you into introspection, having a different perspective of who you truly are, understanding also who possibly you could be, ideally being just you, or ideally also, or possibly being a better version of you. But coaching is also something that is technical. It also takes a lot of discipline, self-discipline in this case, to not think that the solution comes from the other one. It's and we mentioned it before. It's a teamwork, and that's what you expect from a coach rather than a therapist, or a doctor that would just give you a medical prescription, or who would just tell you, okay, see you in 2 months, and we'll see how it goes, without any exercises in between. And I think I really have to emphasize on the fact that even though we had once a week coaching, I had things to do related to coaching / me well-being. I mean, there's a lot of slashes that kept me always present in the moment of our last session and looking forward for the next one. There was always a deadline. The next session was the deadline, and I know I had to deliver for you, not really knowing that in the end it was for me. Mm-hmm. And this in the end is what coaching is doing something for yourself without really knowing. So this is how I describe coaching.
I think it is spot on, because what you mentioned about the work is not about, or the transformation is not about a coach telling you what to do. It's you understanding what you need. Mm-hmm. And again, like you said it so well, like you did the work between the sessions.
Exactly.
And it's not going to be right.
Yeah.
And I think for that, I mean, I've seen your transformation. I've seen everything that you've done during and between the sessions. Mm-hmm. You can be extremely proud of yourself. Really.
Thank you.
Because like, again, it's not because you pay for a coach that you will change your life. Mm-hmm. You change your life. Yeah. And for that, really.
And it's not work.
Congrats.
You really do that. I mean, you're happy to do that. It's exercises.
It's life.
Exactly.
It's life.
Exactly.
And the last one is.
Hey, surprise.
What's next for you now that you've completed your coaching journey? I tend to ask this every time I'm with someone. Kind of like what's next, and what's kind of like your goal and your dream. Mm-hmm. Because I believe that everything that you put out there in the universe, it will give it back to you. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So this is your platform now to...
Tough question. And busted. Oh, that's just me.
No. Okay, soon your turn. I promise we're going to interview you too.
I know she's going to bark again.
Yeah.
This is
hey,
she got a treat?
We're going to close the curtains, huh?
No. For me, what's next, it's pretty easy. It's the continuation of what we've already started together. It's, I think there's two things. First, being capable of ensuring that it's a continuation. She's agreeing with me.
Yeah.
The continuation of what we've done by myself. I guess I have the right tools, but that does not mean that I might, revert to you again in the future. It can be a new future or a far future, but it's something that I've learned a lot about myself. You taught me how to use some tools that I can use by myself, like I did. And this is something that you've been good at, and teaching me how to use these tools by myself, and making me accountable as well. So I want to be accountable for myself, not for my coach anymore. So that's the first thing, that it has to just be there. And the second one, and I think this was I was talking about before, I see that what I've learned, I can share. We're not talk about legacy, but I can speak the words that I've learned about myself to others, and maybe with a different approach, because I'm not a coach, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a guru or anything, but I know that my word can mean something for other people. Absolutely. And I know that I can help just by speaking out. I know that I can make people understand that even though we're miles away, we still have this thing of you are not alone in your sorrow and your pain. You're not the only one experiencing what you have, and that maybe through my words, you'll be able to feel some comfort. And this will still be me giving away love, but loving me first.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful words, though. That's a wrap.
Well done.
Thank you so much again for your honesty, your openness, everything.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Really happy and truly hope that, You deserve the best. I'm not gonna say it again to you. You're an awesome person. From the person that I've met virtually online, what you were showing, you're the same person in real life. Even though it's the first time I see you, but I feel like when I entered the studio, it felt really like I had knew you for so long. So I definitely hope the best for you. I think this podcast is going to be a success. Not maybe this episode, but the next one.
Oh,
Then I'll take I'll take responsibility of it. But I really encourage people just to open the door and say, okay, why not? Trying a coach. I haven't tried any other coach than you, and I'd definitely not try anyone else because I mean you know everything. So you know my background. Why start from scratch when you have the best?
Thank you so much again, and just again, like reflecting back on your journey, you can be extremely proud of yourself, and I have no doubt that whatever you want to pursue, you will get there and you are getting there with everything you're doing, because you are also like an action person. Like you don't wait. Like you used to procrastinate, but you have like a lot of self-discipline that maybe you were not aware of, but you have a lot of self-discipline, and that's the I'm sure you saw my last video on Instagram, but self-discipline is where it takes you, so again, just thank you for being my practice client.
Thank you for trusting and giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, and let's see what's next.
Definitely. Next episode.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tiff.
Thank you guys for watching. You can follow Oli on
dear.oli, dear.oli on Instagram.
dear.oli.
And that's it. Don't
and
follow me anywhere
he's
else.
just blooming right now, so I love that. I love that for you. Yeah.
Thanks a million.
All right, that's a wrap. Bye, guys.
Oh yeah, that. She's doing home staging.
Nola, stop it. Please. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's part of it.
It's part of it. Okay.
Authenticity.
Yeah.